So I just wanted to show you guys a quick and easy little modification I did on my tractor when I bought it. It came with this bracket that held the off-road vehicle sign, whatever it is that nobody pays attention to. It's always forever catching on trees and everything else. So, because I clear out the approach to my driveway and it looks like another driveway just down the way and maybe a couple more in town here, who knows how things will go. I just, I'll have the four-way flashers on as required by law, but just to make myself a little more visible and, just so people know I'm working there, I wanted to put a hazard light or, flashy light here. So I took that bracket, I took it off, took the sign off, put the bracket in the vise, bent it nearly 90 degrees there, or maybe it is 90 degrees. It doesn't matter. You're supposed to be able to get a flasher beacon for this. That's why there's that little pigtail hanging off there. It's not really showing up very well on the camera, I think. But you're supposed to take that pigtail and then they would sell you a bracket and all that sort of thing. Well, I had this for work purposes and I don't use it very often. But I figured it'd be a good idea to at least put it on there. Now, a couple years ago, I put in this 12-volt plug with a USB charger dealie because I couldn't find one in here. It turns out that there is one on the other side of the seat right beside the controls, and nobody ever told me about it when I bought it. So, typical story. So now I've got that plugged in, and it just goes right to the battery, that little plug, direct. So now people will be able to see me a bit better. That's just a magnetic light, so I might try and make that bar a little bit longer because there's the two little pads there have magnets underneath them. They're for putting like on the roof of your truck kind of thing or any other vehicle for safety purposes. So my shop's a little crowded because I keep the tractor inside when it's cold. It's like minus 20, but wind chill tonight's supposed to get down to minus 40 or something like that. So like minus 8 Fahrenheit now, and then wind chill makes it like 40 degrees Fahrenheit because 40 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit and minus 40 degrees Celsius are about the same. So I just wanted to have that little extra degree of safety. I'll unplug that plug after so it doesn't discharge your battery on the tractor completely. But all I did was I ran a wire through the rubber boot on the loader arm control there. I'll show you. So this is a lockout for the loader arms. So I just ran this wire along there. It's not real professionally done or nothing, but at least I didn't have to drill any holes. Only the holes I had to drill was pilot holes for these two sheet metal screws. And don't use Canadian Tire drill bits. Any of those drill bits that got that titanium plating, they're garbage. Just throw those out. You got to buy good drill bits if you want to drill through steel. The titanium plating does nothing. So, or gold plating, whatever it is. So then you run the wire underneath along a bunch of hoses and stuff. Put it in a little loom there. And then it's kept it paired with some hoses where it's not going to expose to high heat because this does have diesel exhaust emissions. And then right to the battery terminals themselves. That's good enough. Two little spade foot dealies on there and away you go. So here I can almost show you maybe. So doing this all one-handed, so take it easy on me. So there's the loom and then it just goes to the battery terminals. As simple as that. Just easy little things. Because I was like, well, I've got nothing for charging my phone. My phone was getting a bit geriatric at the time. I just finally replaced this. This is an Samsung A52. And I had an S8 before. So just replaced it. So it's just funny because, you always use these little awkward corners for putting gloves and stuff like that, like here. And it was somewhere in here where I found a 12-volt plug. Somewhere in the back there. Damn if I find it again. You stupid thing. Oh yeah. So yeah, you can't even see it on here. But anyway, it's right there, right by the PTO lever. Kind of in behind it. But my one problem I'm having though is the solder joint for my heated rear window, my rear window defrost keeps breaking. I tried soldering it on last night, and as soon as I opened the window again today, the damn thing broke. So I want to see if there's somebody a little bit better at soldering than I am, because that's driving me nuts. I like having a rear window defrost because otherwise it doesn't take much for these windows to fog up when it's cold outside. So all the vents are at the top of the cab, and that's where the air conditioning is all located too, and heater core and all that kind of stuff. So of course it's not really convenient because you'd kind of like to have your heat coming from the bottom going your way up, but it's just a tiny little tractor. What more can you do? So it's just a 3-cylinder motor, and it's Korean made, and I don't know, I don't think they put the most money or development money into stuff like cab comfort and that. But it is a fairly tough tractor. I run my big snow bucket on it most days, like with snow plowing and that. I don't have a snow blower. I just have the box scraper, and that's 500 pounds, that box scraper, and I just use it as counterweight. And it's on there most of the year anyways because it's counterweight, and sometimes it's nice to be able to drag things back with it. It's sometimes easier to get at with the box blade than with the bucket. I don't know. I'm not a big tractor guy. I got it because I wanted to start this business, and they were making it really difficult for somebody wanting to get started if you didn't have like 25% to put down. So a friend of mine said, why don't you just buy a tractor? You can use it for your own private stuff, and then you can also use it for jobs and that. And so that's what I did, but it doesn't really get me much work. I've got a bush hog mower, 4 to 5 footer woods. It's a good mower and that, but if people have cattle and sheep and goats and everything else for mowing pretty much, and combines and everybody else. This is in a rural area. It's all country farming around here, so people got their own tractors. So what I am getting for a little bit of work with it is some snow plowing, because one of my neighbors, he's lives in the city, and then he commutes out here on his days off and weekends, are kind of retired or whatever. So he doesn't have his own tractor or a quad with a plow on it, and he's got a half-mile long driveway, and usually he gets the other neighbor who's got a 100 horsepower Massey, an old one with a snowblower in the back, and he doesn't like running it that much because you got to go, you got to drive it backwards and crane your neck the whole way. I went with this thing. I put the bucket down, I just started pushing, and I cleared a swath through about 6 feet wide, or probably just a little under 6 feet wide with it, for all the snow that falls back. And I made several passes like that, trying to widen it out as much as I could, and he was really happy with it. So, I mean, it's kind of nice. And then I helped some of the other neighbors, because when the snowplow goes by, they leave that big ridge. So I pushed that back down into the ditch as far as I could reach with the loader without getting myself stuck. So it's kind of one of the nice things about having the tractor for. But I think in a couple of years after this mini excavator thing is paid off and all that, because I'm getting that Sani SY50, I'm gonna probably get a skid steer like a Takeuchi or something like that. It's not particularly big, maybe TL8 or something like that. 65, 75 horsepower, something around that. Hopefully with high flow hydraulics, and I'll get a snowblower for it. So tractors are fine in that, but and if you're just derping around, just farting around with it, then that's okay. But I'm a little more serious of a dirt guy, so tractor's not quite enough. And skid steer, at least you're a little more balanced when you have a bucket on. Your engine's at the back, so if you're pushing the snow down into the ditch, you're not, you don't have all your weight at the front. So, but yeah, this thing's just got 170 hours on it. So 3 years, 170 hours. You can see how much I use it on jobs. Most of the summer, all the jobs I did, I just rented skid steers and mini excavators. So it's about time I bought my own mini excavators. Lots of skid steer guys around. So just how good they are is always a good question. So we'll see what happens. I'm pretty excited to get this mini. So it's just going to be a few more weeks, and got the baby coming as well. So a lot on my plate here. Anyways, just thought I'd show you guys a little modification. So now it's a little bit of safety there. And yeah, and I just got to deal with this defrost grid. Talk to you later.